slam.
Support life and music.
You keep on slamming because it's a matter of life and death. And by doing this, you are saving so many lives.
All right, you dropped a bomb on me. What's up, everyone? This is Jack Mangan from Support Life and Music, and you know I've done lots of other music journalism today, but today's not about me. It's never about me. This is a very special episode. We are technically between seasons, but this one cannot wait because it's very exciting. The topic's exciting, and everything about this is exciting. We're talking to some folks from Phoenix has something really cool and unique that I'm not aware of anywhere else in the world. We have the Musical Instrument Museum, or MIM, as we call it affectionately here locally. And we have two amazing people from MIM here to talk all about, oh, there's so much we want to talk about. I'll spend the whole 30 minutes telling you the things we're going to talk about. So I'll just stop that, and we'll start with Naomi Primeau. Thank you for joining us today, Naomi.
Hi, thanks for having me. So I'm Naomi Primeau. I'm the public program specialist. So I'm part of the team that plans all of the programming that we do here at MIM.
Great. Well, great to meet you, Naomi. Yeah. And then we also have Rich Walker to her left and to my right. Rich, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. I'm one of the curators here. My name is Rich Walter, and we love working with the public programs team and education teams and theaters. So it's a big group here. We all are very proud of MIM and love talking about the signature events we have where we bring in lots of audiences. So we're delighted to talk with you, Jack. Thanks so much.
Oh yeah, the delight's all on my end. I definitely want to talk. We want to talk about Celebrate Soul. So just as a teaser for our viewers, Celebrate Soul is going to be incredibly exciting. But first, let's tell people if we have some viewers who have never heard of MIM or aren't familiar with it, just give people an overview of what MIM is all about.
Go ahead.
Okay. So MIM is, God, that's such a broad question. We are a combination of so many things. So first and foremost, a museum, but we are a cultural entity just sharing instruments from all over the world. I believe we have an instrument from every country in the world, which is pretty special that something like this is right here in the Valley. So not only are we a museum, but we also have amazing concerts that folks can see, our MIM Music Theater, in addition to our public programs, which happen quite often now.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Rich, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add to that. That's a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great answer, and MIM is unique. The mission is really to display and represent authentic musical instruments from every part of the world. And so rather than concentrating on a specific genre or a specific country, or even just a lot of things that are really old or a lot of things that are really fancy, we really believe in showcasing real musical instruments from all over the planet that are the actual tools that musicians use to express their ideas, their personalities, their cultures, and to have that diversity of musical instruments under one roof is really what makes MIM unique.
Yeah, again, great answers. And I'll also add to everyone, I love the way it's laid out so that when you, as a visitor, tour MIM, you go from continent to continent and country to country and see the regions. I think that's a really great way to lay it out. So you're getting a lot of different cultural knowledge and learning. It's just wonderful. It's a great experience.
And we believe in it's a multimedia experience too. So in addition to seeing the instruments, all of our guests at the museum are wearing headphones. And so there are video monitors throughout the museum as well. So there are thousands of instruments on display in hundreds of individual exhibits, but you're seeing the instruments, you're listening to music, you're watching performances, and really getting a kind of a multi-sensory glimpse into music, language, dress, performance settings all around the world as well.
Yeah, love it. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot, Rich. Tell us one or two of your favorite items at MIM.
Oh, I mean, that's always a tough question, and it's always changing. So the fun part is objects are always coming in, the collection is always being sort of re-energized, and so it's always fun to see new things on display. Certainly, we have favorites. We recently put on display Duke Ellington's personal piano. And so anytime we have instruments that we really know were used by truly history shaping musicians, whether it's in pop music that we're familiar with here or from anywhere else in the world, there are a number of instruments that were owned and used and recorded with by really significant musicians, throughout time. And so those are always very, very special. But we have, drums dating back to 6,000 years old. We have instruments that are as recent as just a few years old. So it really spans the gamut. But as far as Celebrate Soul is concerned, we have Rosetta Tharpe's personal guitar here. I mean, she was a really significant gospel musician in the 40s. And then, 30s, 40s, and on into the 50s, where she really was an architect of rock and roll. And to have the personal guitar that Rosetta Tharpe used as a real pillar of gospel music that then inspired, rhythm and blues artists and rock and roll artists, and a lot of the music we recognize today. We really have some instruments that you can trace back to points of origin for music we almost take for granted today. So that's always really exciting.
Wow, that's wonderful. Yeah, Rosetta Tharpe, we could do a whole show on her and her impact, and yeah, how underappreciated she is. But again, that's a great thing about MIM. We can learn a little bit. All right, now before we move on, Naomi, do you have an answer to the same questions? Are there any specific items, one or two, that you just absolutely love, or that you tell visitors you got to see this before you leave?
Yeah, like what Rich said, it's ever changing all the time. That's what's so special about working here at MIM, is that we also get to experience what audience members experience when they come in, just because it's rotating. I feel like every single time I go up there or to any of the galleries, there's something different. But I did want to mention Rosetta Tharpe's guitar, and our exhibits team did an amazing job at how they laid it out with an image of her with that exact guitar, and then right in front of it is her actual guitar floating right in front of it. So we have an amazing team that really captures these lived experiences, basically.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I can't wait to see it. That sounds fantastic. Well, before I have to call out, my kid's favorite room is probably the room where we all go and play, and we all play the theremin badly, and and those things. So that's a lot of fun too. I don't know, we touched on that, but it's fun just to, especially for youngsters, but you don't have to be young to go in there and have a good time playing the various instruments that you have out for people to mess around with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important people get to learn about music from all over the world, but in a place that bills itself as encouraging that music making, it's great to have spaces where people can have some hands-on experiences and try a theremin, try to play a gamelan, play a keyboard instrument. We've got a beautiful grand piano here at the museum that people can play. So we're treated to little recitals throughout the days. But yeah, to have those spaces where families and people of all ages can go in and try something, play a harp. How many times do you have a chance to just walk in a room and try to play a harp? So it's really special.
Yeah. No, I love it. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, we're building up. We're building the tension and excitement for Celebrate Soul. So we're going to get to that. I'm going to have one or two more questions, and we're going to get into Celebrate Soul. So actually, Naomi, we'll start with you, since I picked on Rich previously. So tell us some of your personal favorite music, your favorite artists. Like, who are some of your personal favorites?
That is a wonderful question. It's changed over the years, but I would say right now, my favorite artist has to be Fleetwood Mac. I'm in that, the Doobie Brothers. So I'm in that, like, what do you call it? Yacht rock era, I guess. It's just so much creativity gets put into a lot of the music in terms of instruments and the production value of what they were doing in the recording studios during the 70s. So that's like another hyperfixation too, is session artists too, and what it took to put into that. So that's something that I'm starting to focus now in terms of my personal interests with music.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, of course, Stevie Wonder, no, Stevie Wonder, pardon me. Stevie Nicks, very different Stevie, very different Stevie. Both geniuses, but yeah, I mean, Stevie Nicks, I think at least at one point lived here in Phoenix. So
yeah, she did. I actually went to her high school. Fun fact. Yeah.
That's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, again, that could be its own separate topic, is the music of the 70s. I absolutely love Fleetwood Mac. I mean, so many just incredible, just historic bands who just defined everything, from the 70s. So whether it's like you mentioned, the Doobies or Stevie Wonder or Led
Mhm.
Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Black Sabbath. I mean, there's just the 70s are incredible. All
Yeah.
right, Rich, I've given you some time to think about it. So what is
Well,
same question?
I'll actually, it's interesting to hear Naomi as well. For any guests who come to the museum, a little bit of trivia is any fans of Fleetwood Mac would have a chance to actually play an instrument that Mick Fleetwood has played, because in that experience gallery that you were talking about, we have a huge gong. And so people love to go and hit this gong. And when Mick Fleetwood visited MIM several years ago, he loved the experience gallery too, and hit that gong. So anyone who comes to MIM has a chance to play the same gong that Mick Fleetwood enjoyed playing when he was here a few years ago, when they were coming through Phoenix. I mean, we love all kinds of music. We get exposed to all kinds of music. One of the real first eye openers or ear openers for me in my life was when I went to college in Virginia. I didn't grow up there, and I was exposed to, fiddle music and old time string band music and bluegrass music. I didn't grow up with it, had never really heard it, but I got to see it right there in front of my eyes, and so that was really exciting. So I really have enjoyed following some of those mountain music styles and how they've changed over time. But we learn all the time what we don't know and all the types of music that's out there. So, pop music from Zimbabwe, like I really got into that for a while, and Brazilian choro music is incredible. I always listen to a lot of jazz, and so we get spoiled because we get to think about music and get introduced to artists and sort of get reminded that even as much as we listen to, just like Naomi is saying, there's a phase, you go through phases, and those phases keep on changing because music is basically infinite. You'll never get to the end of it. And so even in our lifetimes, we get to go through cycles and phases of favorites and exploring and then exploring all over again, and we'll never get to the end of it.
Yeah, and that's what's so special about working here is you just exposed to everything. Like you said, you do feel spoiled.
Yeah.
Very much so. I think we have such a unique experience working here too. And we also get to meet a lot of people. I know you get to meet a lot of people behind the scenes, and for local artists too. I have the opportunity to work very closely with them, and you see how much this museum means to them too, and the genres that they're excited to have us showcase as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Great answers, you guys. And I'll just throw out there, everyone as a visitor and also with speaking with you guys and with Mike Silver, I mean, everyone's so passionate about MIM. There's no one I've met who's just punching a clock at MIM. Everyone is so passionate about what it's all about and they just have such a great passion for the music, the items, the history. I think it's fantastic. Like I said, it's really a star in the Phoenix jewel or crown. I think it's really fantastic. So my hat is off to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we're proud of it. We believe in it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit. There's a very exciting event coming up very soon, actually, as of this recording. You may even be watching this afterwards, but MIM puts on these signature events all throughout the year. The one that is very exciting that's coming up right around the bend, and Slam will have a presence there along with another great local organization. We're doing Celebrate Soul here at MIM. So tell everyone, including me, what are we in for? What kind of experience are we going to have? I'm looking forward to it, but tell us all about it.
Yeah, so this program is part of our signature events. And so these essentially are our way of bringing the exhibits to life, is kind of what we talk about. So guests have the opportunity to go through the galleries, and then they may be hearing that same exact instrument or genre of music being played just right downstairs. So that's what this program is doing. Soul is actually one of our newest exhibits in our USA Canada gallery. And so once that was put up there, we knew that we had to bring this exhibit to life through programming. And so the focus of this is not just the soul that's like stereotypical soul, but more of like a global perspective. So we'll have everything from like Caribbean soul, we'll have like Motown favorites, we'll have neo soul, even like an intergalactic soul performance from some up and coming local artists, in addition to giving some young kids an opportunity to do some public speaking and give a tour and youth-led tours, as well as a really fun soul train that they'll actually be doing with a live radio station. So that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. Rich, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add on top of that.
Well, I just love all the signature events. This is a new one, and it's a theme of music that has been discussed for a while, but we actually didn't have the right content on display to really anchor it. And so, as Naomi was saying, it's a fairly recent installation of a gospel and soul exhibit. And so it's really fun to see how quickly the public programs team can kind of seize on those opportunities, find new content in the museum galleries, and create a public event that helps give it even more dimension and more vitality and bring audiences to experience it even beyond what we can do in the exhibit space. So it's just going to be great.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's the first time we've been able to do this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have some really exciting artists too, right? You can tell us a little bit about some of the guests and some of the featured guests and performers.
Yeah, so we do have some people flying in. We have someone from St. Lucia, Michael Robinson, who's doing a Caribbean soul performance. And we also have some amazing, talented artists who live in the Valley. And it just blows my mind the amount of phenomenal musicians who live here. So one of the most fun aspects of my job is being able to look and research and find all these artists. So, Rich was giving us our team compliments, which I appreciate, but it's so easy to put these together when you have a great team around you and also you just enjoy what you do. So like he said, we've been wanting to do this program for so long that instantly we went and started doing research and able to put this program together very quickly. So yeah, the majority of our acts are treats and diamond in the crown, as you were saying.
You keep on slamming because it's a matter of life and death. And by doing this, you are saving so many lives.
So having something like Slam to be that kind of a resource.
Hi, I'm Vern Bell here with Slam with Jack Mangan.
There's a great organization out there. It's called Support Life and Music.
Slam! Da 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 da.
Slam, Support Life and Music. I'm my friend Jack Mangan.
When you told me what you were doing, I was really on board with it, and I really want to support it because it's close to my heart.
Please support Slam because everybody needs a hand up every once in a while, and this organization is the right one to do the job.
I think what you're doing is great with your organization and trying to address it.
Slam. Support life and music.
Everybody, David Olson here, and you should support Slam.
Of course, Slam actually is going to have a table there. So if people have questions for Support Life and Music, we'll be there. So let's tell people a little bit about, if they're going to visit or if they're interested in attending Celebrate Soul, like just tell people logistics. Like, does this include, is it part of the museum experience or is it part of the MIM experience or is it a separate thing? Tell people how they can attend.
Yes. Well, what makes our programs so amazing is the fact that guests can experience it and experiencing it with just paying museum admission. So they just pay to come in and then they can go through the museum and then also take part in all the activities.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, no, I'm really excited about it for sure. And so where will the Celebrate Soul be set up when you come into the museum? Is it set up in one particular room or is it going to be in the foyer? Where is it going to be found?
It's all throughout the museum, all over the place. We encourage our guests to go up to the galleries to see the exhibit, but it's going to be in our event rooms. It's going to be in the center of the museum, in one of our hallways. So quite literally the whole place.
Where are the main performances set up? Are we still
North El Rio?
North El Rio, yeah. So
Yeah.
It's really fun because when people come into the museum on these signature event weekends, as Naomi was saying, it's just standard museum admission, but there are all these other activities happening. So in a space we call North El Rio, El Rio is our main central corridor through the museum. We transform that, from a corridor into an actual performance space. And because the way the museum is designed, it's fairly open. And so when those performances happen, guests throughout the museum can hear it and sort of be drawn to those performance spaces. So it's really easy to find where the activities are, because in many cases you'll be hearing them even at a distance, and be able to seek them out. But then classroom spaces, event spaces, where there'll be smaller activities going on. So it'll be really easy. We've got signs out. We have all kinds of volunteers who can help point the way as well. So once you're in the door, you'll be able to find all these various activities real easily.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. This is going to be great. Is there, I don't know if I definitely want to touch on, I know you have programs, signature events lined up throughout the year. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say, because I want to talk about some of those, the other ones that are coming up. But is there anything else you wanted to say about Celebrate Soul? Maybe sell it a little bit more, or just to let people know how exciting it's going to be. We can talk about our partner as well. I know there's going to be another table, not just Slam there. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to touch on for Celebrate Soul.
Yeah, I mean, Rich is going to be giving an amazing talk, just talking more about the MIM side and the collections that we have in regards to soul. And I think he'll be touching on gospel as well, which will be pretty cool. So I guess we'll have an inside look on that part of MIM and soul. And we have an amazing community partner, Desert Soul Media. They have a radio station called KRDP, and they're going to be broadcasting live here on the Saturday of the program, so June 13th. So I think they'll be asking probably us to say a few words live on air. They're going to be working with the kids. So it's a very interactive, inclusive program. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think soul music is a special one, because sometimes our signature events focus on geographic regions or countries. And so we always have a great program around St. Patrick's Day of featuring Irish music, and we've had music from the Andes, and lots of different geographic themes. But this is a genre kind of theme, and soul music itself is, I mean, it's just a great story. So part of my talk over the weekend, we'll talk a little bit about some roots in gospel music and how communities of people have relied on music as a real source of solidarity, a real source of crucial expression and validation and pride, and all of these aspects that have been so integral to the existence of what we consider soul music at all. I mean, the 60s, coming out of civil rights movements, Black Power movements, I mean, really a type of music that has its own history in people's spirit of, we've got a future to take care of, we've got a community that means something to us, we're going to have a music that helps characterize those concerns, those aspects of pride, that vision for a future that we would like to keep on building for ourselves and our next generations. I mean, soul music is a very powerful type of music. It's not just from a place, it comes from an emotional place, as well as just a geographic place or a historic place. And so I think to truly celebrate music that is filled with that emotional content and is kind of a part of its own history of people using music to convey their personality, their pride, their identity, and their hope for a strong future in what we're all doing together. That's a great thing.
Yeah, fantastic words. I think that really is a great summary. And I was thinking as you were saying that, it's also, soul is also so universal. I think even the crustiest, most uptight classical music devotee is still going to have a soul piece of music, some soul music that they secretly love, or the same, you could go to like the most metal of all metal only guys is still going to have some soul songs. He's going to absolutely, you're going to put on James Brown and he's going to love it. So I think it's universally appealing. And as you said, it's really a powerful, it's got a great point in history. I can't say anything better than what you just said, Rich, so I'm not going to try. That was really great. Well, I look forward to the event.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, and the chance to celebrate names like Aretha Franklin and James Brown, and people who really changed what people saw as opportunities to mix different genres and backgrounds, and congregational singing into funk music, and it really does capture a lot of things. So that's the essence of MIM as well. These musics that are organic, and they speak to people's real priorities personally, but then they also appeal to audiences beyond themselves. As you were saying, audiences of all types will find something that they really enjoy and appreciate and dig about soul music. And so there are numerous reasons why we feature it for a public program like this, but there's the musical side, but there's also the human side always.
Yeah, which has been so special about putting this program together is really tapping into the emotional side of music within programming. And so one of the activities is quite literally a storyteller who goes by the name of Muse, and she's asking guests basically, what does soul music mean to you on like a deeper level? And it's going to be like a spoken word sort of thing. So I think that's going to be really special for people to take part in. I mean, at the end of the day, music is the language of the soul, as they say, and it's something that connects all of us. And this is a genre that is a great example of that, I think.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. There's, again, great words from both of you. I really appreciate it. You have time for one or two more questions, and then I'll let everyone get back to
Of course. Yeah.
Wonderful. I appreciate it. Well, I did want to ask about some of the upcoming events. So the Soul event is coming up here in June 13th and 14th. 14th, pardon me for getting the dates bungled.
13th and 14th.
13th and 14th, yes.
Yes.
So it's right around the corner from this recording. But I know you guys aren't done. So what else do you have coming up the rest of the year for your signature events?
Oh, we always have something coming up. We actually have something coming up this upcoming weekend on June 6th. It's Spotlight on Children's Music. And it's an interactive, family-friendly, just one-day only event in which we're collaborating with Smithsonian Folkwave Recordings, World Music Pedagogy, just to name a few. So if you're an educator or you're a parent, this will be a great opportunity for you to get like a PD certificate as well, and just bring the kiddos. We're going to have some 2 interactive performances in the same hallway, North El Rio. We're going to be bringing out some drums, so everyone's going to have the opportunity to play along as well. But in addition to that, we have Experience France coming up in July. We also have a Spotlight on Sousa, and Rich will be there for that one too. We also have Celebrate Electronic Music, Experience Brazil, Experience Japan. So there is just a whole bunch of amazing programming coming up this year alone.
All right. Well, people should stay tuned. Well, actually, that'll be the final question. So let me actually turn it to a support life and music question, something that we're all about. So we're going to change gears a little bit, but I'll try not to do too much preamble. But many musicians tragically have some tragedy in their history. A lot of times, music people are drawn to music, from pain, from struggle. And a lot of times it's the language of that. So, cutting to the point, either one of you can start, but both of you, I'll just ask, what is your advice for people who are struggling? What's your advice for people to kind of persist, who are in a tough spot in their lives, and maybe even having some bad ideas, or maybe wondering if they can keep going? What's your advice for people to keep going and find happiness and peace in their lives?
It's a great question. Yeah, it's so difficult. Just talking from personal experience too, I know that I had moments where it was hard, but one of the things I learned is that just because you're thinking something doesn't mean that it's true necessarily. And one of the best things you could do is to just allow yourself to feel it in the moment and just let it pass. Kind of like you're waving at something through a window. It's like a negative thought, things like that. So I guess like the best set of advice that I could give, honestly, is to, as cliche as it sounds, to just still keep going, because I promise you it does, and it will get better.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about MIM, and again, we're biased and kind of spoiled by it, but we're surrounded by examples of people who have turned adverse situations and challenges in lives into literally beautiful art. So I think one of the very powerful things to keep in mind for people who are struggling or coping with various challenges in their lives, here there are so many powerful reminders that these situations have existed forever. Difficulties with families, with partners, with careers, with economics, with health, with, all with weather, with agriculture, with so many things have happened for countless generations going through time. And a lot of music is actually a product of people finding an expressive way to tell those stories or to turn some of those challenges into something they can share with a community and actually document and give as an example. And so music, I think, actually is an incredibly powerful tool for people to find a different coping mechanism and to create something. And even if they're not personally creating it, to see examples in all the other people who have turned challenges in their lives and, what feels like a dead end, what feels like a real, conflicted moment. Think of all the great art and music that has come out of some of those moments in other people's lives. And so it's as difficult as it is for individual people going through it in the moment, there are other human beings who've gone through it similarly and who have used those emotions, used that challenge, used those questions to come up with some really beautiful answers, or at least some very beautiful ways of sharing that story of getting through it. And it gets exponentially more powerful when you realize that it's not just people in your own community who've dealt with it, but people everywhere on earth have been faced with challenges. And everywhere on earth, music has been a very powerful antidote to those situations, and people have used it as a very effective coping mechanism, and we're all the greater for it. Not all music is a story of happiness and success and rainbows and easy street. There's so much shockingly great music, including soul music, including gospel music, that has very direct references to challenges in life, to hoping for that next brighter day, for looking ahead to things being a little bit different. And if we even think about the example of soul music, I mean, that's a very strong message that runs throughout. And so it's not even so much advice as taking a little bit of comfort where we can, and realizing that we don't do these things for the first time ever. There are lots and lots of people who've done it before us and who have faced these feelings and who have found some positive ways to turn it into something beautiful.
All right. Yeah. Great answers from both of you. I really think it's really great answers from both of you. I appreciate your insights and your personal takes on it. I really appreciate it both. So appreciate you both. I'll say it again, and I'm not just saying this because you're both here. I say it to people all the time. If you're in Phoenix, if you're visiting Phoenix, MIM has got to be part of your itinerary. It's such an incredible thing, and for us locals, it's air conditioned. So there you go.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah. It's 72 degrees every day of the year here in the museum. So it's a comfortable place, and it's easy to find more information, mim.org. You can see public programs on the horizon, theater concerts on the schedule, keep track of lots of things. So we're easy to find and excited for everyone to come out and see us.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and we didn't touch on the concerts, and that's okay. I think we've given people enough information. But yeah, I love that theater, by the way. I think it's a wonderful theater.
Yeah.
I'll share a personal story with you guys, and then I'll let you take us out. Is that I saw Victor Wooten there, the world's best bass player, at the MIM Theater, and he was very kind, very great with his people. And that was on January 27th or something, 2020. And I had no idea that was going to be my last concert for like 3 years, because suddenly it's like, oh, I need to get masks and hand sanitizer, and the whole world changed. So for a while, it's like, is MIM going to be my last concert ever? We're just going to be shut down forever. So anyway, MIM is definitely personal, special to me for lots of reasons. But yeah, that was an incredible experience for me. But all right, before I ramble any longer, I'll just say thank you both very much for coming on. Thank you for sharing your insights, your stories, and telling people all about what MIM is. I guess you did some great promotion there just now, Rich, but feel free to take us out by promoting yourselves and anything else you want to promote about MIM and its programs.
Yeah, so we have an amazing team here, and we couldn't do this without collaborating with people like Rich, our curatorial team, our entire marketing creative team, education. It really takes a village to make these programs come together. So I guess from that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been putting a lot of effort into making these programs a possibility.
Yeah, and our community partners, obviously, and our audiences. It's great to have a resource like this, but it really doesn't make sense unless people and schools and families come here, and take advantage of it. So we're so grateful for the people who help us kind of spread the word and who help appreciate it in further and further circles. And we're always here, and always changing and always improving. So even if you've been here once before, if you come back again, you're bound to see something new. You're bound to see something redesigned, better, more exciting. Like there's always something new to discover. And we take that really seriously too. We want people to keep on coming back because we believe music is something that can inspire you over and over and over again. And so it's part of our job to make that a reality for people who can come visit us.
All right. Perfectly stated. I want to thank you so much. Again, it's Naomi Primeau, Rich Walker. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And everyone should go to the MIM. There you go. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks so much, Jack.
Thank you.